Hare Krishna. Nice to have your association this morning. I think we'll make a start, and if anybody else wants to join, that's fine. Let's make a start on today's class. Lord Shiva instructs the Prachetas. So, quick prayer first of all. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Rukmani Mataji, Jai Prabhu, Parveen Mataji for joining. So we're going to make a start now. So today we're talking about Lord Shiva instructing the Prachetas. Now these Prachetas are brothers, and they are the sons of King Prachina. So Prachina king was the one who was told an allegory of King Pranjana, who became a woman by sage Narad. So it's that king, and this is his 10 sons. And he asked his sons to get married and beget children. The sons were happy to do that, but they said that before we get married, we want to purify ourselves. So we want to go and do some austerity and penance for 10,000 years. That's one way of stalling the marriage, I guess. For 10,000 years, they want to go and do some penance. So they went over to, they wanted to do it inside a lake, with the yoga mystic powers. They were going to do a meditation for 10,000 years inside a lake, ocean, but they found a lake, and which was like an ocean. And when they went there to the lake, they found Lord Shiva, who was waiting for their arrival. So they all paid their obeisances to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva instructed them to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he showed them a prayer. It's called the Rudra Gitena. He showed them a prayer that they should use, the prayer that Lord Shiva uses for Vishnu. And Srila Prabhupada says that one can offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly as well, but if one repeats the prayers offered by great devotees like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, or if one follows the footsteps of the great personalities, one can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. So if you have a prayer that has been tried and tested, it's better to use that prayer than to make your own. Basically, that's what he's saying. You can make your own prayer, but take it from the experts who know how to devise a prayer and use that. So the Prachetas, they stood in a semicircle before Lord Shiva as he began his prayer. And it's like in 5 parts, this prayer. It's very interesting. So please listen. So first part is praying for the sanctioning of devotional service by the Lord. So you have to get the Lord's permission, first of all, before you do devotional service. And Lord Shiva says, this is what he said: O Supreme Person, all glories to you. You are the best of the realized souls, always auspicious of those who know you. Kindly show me your mercy. Your instructions are perfect and should always be obeyed. I therefore worship you. The super soul in everyone's heart, my Lord, from your navel sprouts the cosmic lotus, the origin of the material creation. You are also the source of the material senses and sense objects. Please give me your mercy so I may dedicate my senses to you. I am constantly disturbed by the waves of material existence, hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, death. However, as Vasudev, the origin of consciousness, who is all-pervading, you are always peaceful. I bow to you and beg that you make my consciousness suitable for serving you. And then he goes on, dear Lord, as Sankarshan, the deity of false ego, you amalgamate the cosmos and then in due course dissolve it by fire emanating from your mouth. Please therefore burn up my attachments born of false ego, bind my attachment to you and my ego to my identity as your devotee. You are Pradyumna, the Lord of intelligence. Please awaken my intelligence so that I serve you. You are Anirudh, the origin of mind, the chief sense, please attract my mind exclusively to your service. So he's talking about the qualities of Krishna and saying that you are the Lord of everything. Please help me for my different aspects. The sun god and expansion of your form as Anirudh purifies all things. Kindly, therefore, purify my mind so I can understand spiritual truths. O Anirudh, you help materialists attain the higher planets and transcendentalists achieve liberation. Your golden semen becomes Agni, the fire god, who preside over voice and make possible the four types of fire sacrifice known as Chaturhotra. Please therefore inspire me to use my voice to perform the sacrifice of chanting Krishna's glories. So fire is the god of the voice. Dear Anirudh, the origin of my mind, the chief sense, please attract my mind exclusively to your service. The sun god, uh, uh, he, dear Anirudh, you also expand as Soma, the moon god who controls the mind. He provides the foods offered to the gods and forefathers. Furthermore, you are the origin of the three Vedas, which instruct everyone in their obligations to their forefathers, the gods, or the living beings and saintly people. Kindly free me from all such obligations by giving me strength to engage fully in your loving service. So, written in Bhagavad Gita that if you are doing devotional service, then you are no longer obliged to your pitas, the demigods, the gurus, etc., your parents. But I don't think we should think like that because our devotional service is not perfect. So we should still continue having some obligation. My personal view on that. Soma is also responsible for the tongue's ability to relish the taste of food. Please give me the strength that I will not taste anything but your sacred remnants. So Lord Shiva is praying to the Chaturmuha as Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the living entities, bodies. By your grace, may everyone's bodily senses be engaged in your devotional service. For example, let our noses be engaged in smelling flowers offered to you to your lotus feet, and our hands be engaged in cleansing your temple. As the life breath of every living entity, you maintain the three worlds. Consequently, you alone enable everyone to engage in life's real duty with full bodily and mental strength. I pray that I may serve you with my life, wealth, intelligence, and words. The Prachetas looked at each other and they each had the same question in the mind. So Lord Shiva is telling them this, you say this and ask for sanction of the Lord. So what was the need to pray in this way? So was the intention to serve Krishna not sufficient? Because the Lord is in the heart, he can see your intention anyway. So Lord Shiva said, even though you may desire to engage in the Lord's service, without his sanction, you can't do so. This is why I am teaching you how to pray for Lord's mercy. Only by his grace can you serve him. So this is what we say, that when we're chanting, when we listen to a class, when we go to a program, unless the Lord wants us to do it, we can't do it. You will make some arrangement that we won't be able to do it. We won't be able to go to the program. Like now, it's COVID going on, we can't go to, programs. Or sometimes you could be sitting in a program, you get a phone call, you have to go back home for some reason, or you just can't make it in the first place because you have some other duties. So there's always some arrangement that you can't achieve. So we also pray that please give me sanction my devotion service so I can, serve you. So secondly, then Lord Shiva continued with the second part of the prayer and showed how to pray to Lord Vishnu so that we may be purified of ignorance. So my Lord, you are the spiritual sound which reveals the truth of both matter and spirit. So ignorance means that we don't know the difference between matter and spirit. We must be able to differentiate what is matter, what is spirit. Your holy names are the essence of these vibrations. You are also the all-pervading ether that carries the sound. Please purify me so that by chanting your holy names, I may understand both the material worlds and the highest spiritual worlds known as Vaikuntha planets. The spiritual planets like yourself are supremely pure, and only those who are completely purified can approach them. Lord, you inspire people to act piously and impiously. So not only piously, you inspire them to act impiously as well, and you award them with the respective results. So by your grace, pious karmis attain the heavenly Pitralok, while the demonic are cast into repeated birth and death in this world, or even hell. I therefore offer you my obeisances, my respects to you, the source of all benedictions. Everything is meant for your pleasure. You are the master of all mysticism, the original cause of all causes, and the personification of religion. Your knowledge is supreme, infinite, and without obstruction. As Rudra, you are the Lord of false ego. You control the conditioned souls who work for profit. You also control the work itself and the results of that work, as well as the body, mind, and senses. You are the source of Vedic knowledge and the activities it prescribes. Please, therefore, endow me with perfect knowledge so my mind, senses, and words will all turn towards your devotional service. So the origin of sound is Krishna. Through the sound vibration of the holy Vedas and his holy names, the Lord facilitates purification of your body, mind, and words, turning them exclusively towards devotional activities. And then in the third part of the prayer, Lord Shiva shows how to pray so that you can see the Lord. Okay, so ignorance. So first we ask for sanctioning, then we ask for removing ignorance, and then now we asking for the Lord to show us how we can see him, or pray to him that we can see the Lord. Then, dear Lord, please mercifully reveal that form which is adored and worshipped by your dear devotees. I'm not interested in the universal form or in your feature as the impersonal or pervasive Brahman, nor in your form as the super soul. I wish to see you in a complete perfection, your beautiful form, the source of all pleasurable relationships, which is especially liked by your devotees. Only that supreme personal form of yours can perfectly satisfy the senses so that they lose all attraction to material enjoyment. My dear Lord Krishna, your feet appear like two petals of a blossoming lotus growing during the autumn season. The effulgence from your toenails dissipates the darkness in the heart of conditioned souls, which who seeks your shelter. My Lord, kindly show me your form, which dispels all doubts and fears from your devotee's heart. You are the supreme spiritual master who can enlighten deluded souls struggling in the darkness of ignorance, and those wishing to purify their existence should meditate on your lotus feet. Anyone desiring to attain fearlessness must practice Bhakti Yoga while adhering to their Ashma duties. Dear Lord, even the King of Heaven desires your devotional service. You are difficult to reach for those engaged in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and mystic meditation, but those who practice Bhakti attain you easily. My Lord, many transcendentalists who aspire to surpass the material energy, some cultivate Vedic knowledge, that's the Gyanis, others practice the physical discipline of Ashtanga Yoga, that's the Yogis, but only those rare souls who take shelter of your lotus feet can satisfy you. No wise person serious to achieve life's perfection would take to any other process than Bhakti Yoga. And this is what Sri Prabhupada was telling us. That forget yoga or any other yoga or Bhakti Yoga is the process, easiest process that's right on top of the ladder. And we should go directly to that. You expand us invincible time, which is so powerful that merely by raising your eyebrows, you annihilate the material world. Nothing can elude time's influence. It destroys the materialist success and Jnani's realization of impersonal Brahman. Yet time does not touch a devotee who has taken complete shelter of you, because spiritual worlds are eternal. If you go to spiritual world, then you're there for eternity. So in the fourth part, Lord Shiva shows how to pray, so you get association of pure devotees, because by the association you become completely purified and receive blessings of Bhakti Devi, the goddess of devotion. You then see everything in relation to Krishna and perceive him in his name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Then you will never again fall into illusion, which is known as a dark well. So now we're praying for the association of devotees. And this is a Prabhupada again says association of devotees is very important. Dear Lord, The Ganges water is celebrated as being able to extirpate all kinds of sinful reactions of those who bathe in it. Similarly, the association of pure souls, always absorbed in hearing and chanting about you, can free us from material contamination. So the pure souls are compared to the Ganges water. It is purifying. It is our humble prayer that you bless us with the association of such devotees who are compassionate and free from material desires and pretension. There is no greater blessing. So it also reminds us what a pure soul is like. They are free from material desires and pretension. And finally, fifth part, Lord Shiva continues with the prayers to include Lord's energies manifested as a material creation, sense gratification, and time. So finally, my dear Lord Krishna, you are Brahman, the supreme, all-pervading spiritual energy in which the entire cosmos rests. You have numerous energies which act variously and by which you create the cosmic manifestation. Although the cosmos seems permanent, you will annihilate it in due course. Your illusory energy, Maya, deludes the conditioned souls to think that the universe is separate from you. Therefore, they are disturbed by the material world's constant changes. You are independent and never influenced by Maya. We desire to realize you in your original form as Krishna. Since the universe is manifestation of energy, it is also accepted as your form. Everything within the universe is you. The five elements, the senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, and your partial expansion as the super soul, who supervises everything, as well as the bhaktas who worship you, your personal form. Even karma and gyan yogis worship you as Vishnu, providing the universe and all beings. This is confirmed throughout the Vedas, which is recommended that you should alone be worshipped because rest are Krishna's energies. You are the supreme person, the cause of all causes. Before the material creation, your material energy is dormant. So now showing how the material world is manifested. You are the supreme person, the cause of all causes. Before the material creation, your material energy is dormant. Excuse me. As Mahavishnu, you activated by your glands. At that time, the three modes of nature are set into motion, bringing into existence the Mahat Tattva, the totality of material energy. This Mahat Tattva systematically differentiates into force egotism, ether, air, fire, water, earth, the five elements. Then the living entities are impregnated into the cosmos and they emerge first as Lord Brahma, the first entity, and then seven great sages, then as the principal gods. From the gods come humans, animals, trees, birds, beasts, and everything else. Then we talk about sense gratification. Lord, after creating this world, you enter the hearts of all creatures as the super soul. You also enter as the living entities themselves, who are your separated parts. The tiny soul enters bodies created either from embryo, egg, seed, or within sweat. Regardless of what type of body that they occupy, they are all busily pursuing sense enjoyment. As the all-knowing super soul, you direct everyone to fulfill their desires, although you remain aloof from such so-called happiness. Unfortunately, the enjoyment of living entities in the material world is exactly like the bees' enjoyment of honey in the honeycomb. When bees try to enjoy honeycomb, they bite each other, thereby suffering as they try to find pleasure. Like bees, humans inflict misery on each other in their pursuit for pleasure. So we are compared to the bees and how they fight each other for enjoyment. We are also competing like that. And then finally about time. Oh Lord Krishna, although you cannot be seen, your absolute authority is experienced in your form as time, which destroys everything. So, if nothing else, we know there's such thing as time, and every time everything changes, we change, everything around us changes, the seasons come and go. Time is, we have an hour, minute, day, week, year, it goes on, and we can see the changes all the time. And this is Krishna coming as time. By the force of time, one living being kills another. Time scatters all things exactly as the wind disperses clouds. Due to uncontrollable greed, All people in this world frantically busy themselves with plans to enjoy. As vigilant death, you seize those who neglect your supreme authority, just as a snake snatches and swallows a mouse. After many births of struggling to enjoy or whimsically pursuing all self-realization, a person eventually becomes wise and recognizes that unless he worships you, his life will be wasted. Such a person serves you in all situations, always hearing about and glorifying you. My dear Lord Krishna, you are the all-pervading Brahman and also the Super Soul. Wise people who want freedom from fear take shelter of you alone. In my form as Rudra, I destroy the universe. Everyone fears that form. However, one who always worships you need never fear even my Rudra form, for you always protect such a learned devotee. So this is the Lord Shiva. This is how he prays to Lord Krishna. And then he says, those who will offer me the prayers composed by Lord Shiva, this is Lord Krishna saying, those who will offer me the prayers composed by Lord Shiva, both in the morning and in the evening, will be given benedictions by me. In this way, they can both fulfill their desires and attain good intelligence. And by good intelligence means going back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 10.10. So this is the meaning of good intelligence. And we get that. So yeah, now it's a very long prayer, but it's a very nice prayer as well, and a very useful one. So I thought it was worth going through this, and hope it made some kind of sense to you all. And let's have a quick discussion on this, and let's see what we can understand from this. And who would like to start today? Anybody want to volunteer? Swashi Mataji, okay.
Hare Krishna.
So
Lord Shiva met the Prachetas
yes,
not by chance, like they met him on the way or anything like that.
yes,
When he seen them doing penances and austerities, and he was very, very pleased with the Prachetas. So
yes,
he thought, I'll give him to advance more, I give them the devotional service. That's why he gave them the mantra.
yes, yes.
Lord Shiva, I mean, he's Vaishnava himself. He says Vaishnava Yatha Sambhu.
Yes.
And he gets pleased very easily. His name is Ashutosh. So when he sees any Vaishnava, because he himself is Vaishnava, he's doing prayer, he's very pleased. So he tried to give them mantra so they can advance in Krishna consciousness. And he's one of the avatars of Krishna. He's a Gun avatar. And yes, he's one of the sampradaya, like a Rudra sampradaya. So he's a pure devotion. He's the one who recited the Bhagavatam first to Sukadeva Goswami before Vyasadeva. And he recited Ramayana to Parvati.
Yes.
So he shows he's a very pure vessel. That's why I was very pleased. And that was the main aim of him, giving the mantra so they can do the devotional service to Krishna.
Yes.
And it's a nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita. It's 1855. It says what Krishna says himself about the devotional service. If the devotees do the devotional service, what happened to them, how they can come to me.
Sure.
It says, Vijananti yaman yachasmi tatvata tato mam tato gyatva vishte tadantaram. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full conscious of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So he wanted the Prachetas to go to kingdom of God, to go to back to Godhead. That's why he gave all the mantras. And through that mantras, I mean, we can get benefit as well. That's how as I say, all these pure devotees, they tell somebody, it's all also benefit us as well. So it's a very nice mantra. Those who follow the mantras and then they get into devotional service, and through the devotional service, we can get love for Krishna, attachment for Krishna. And eventually, if somebody is very, very high, very pure, then they can go to back to Godhead. And that's what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, wonderful. I mean, it's mentioned also there are a lot of, most well, everybody worships Lord Shiva to get material benefits and sense gratification. And in fact, it's written in Bhagavatam that the Prachetas did enjoy the heavenly planets as well for a long time, but they didn't forget Lord Krishna. They remembered him, and then they went back to Godhead. So they had the opportunity to enjoy as well in the heavenly planets. So which was maybe that's what they desired, or it's just a benediction given so that you can have a lot of people do go through the heavenly planets before they go over to the spiritual world. But there's a danger that you might get too caught up in the heavenly planets and then fall down if you forget Krishna. But the Prachetas did not forget Krishna even when they were transferred to the heavenly planets. I think it was a benediction given by Lord Vishnu to them actually to enjoy, and then they go back to the spiritual world. Okay, so Rukmini Mataji, you want to add something?
I don't want to add anything, but before I was believing that Shankar Bhagavan is the main god when I was not in ISKCON. So generally we Brahmin, I am Brahmin by birth.
Yeah.
And now I have become real Brahmin because I entered in the ISKCON.
Yes.
So now I feel that I am a Brahmin real. And because they have taught us to worship only Shiva. But now I know Shiva is also a devotee of Krishna.
Yes.
So there is before there was a confusion, but now I am convinced that Krishna is the main, and ISKCON Prabhupada has taught us so much, so it helps us.
Absolutely.
And but it's a matter of only one birth. Before these Prachetas, they did 10,000. How many thousand they worship?
10,000 years.
10,000 years.
Yes.
So completely different than this Kali Yuga.
Yeah, I mean, one thing like we're doing the class next week as well. They say Shiva is Ashutosh and he easily pleased, but it is still, in those times, it still took thousands of years. I mean, we don't have that kind of lifespan. Hopefully, Shiva is easily pleased by us. I think we can only worship maybe a month or something, so we could manage. And then hopefully.
Yes.
But we talk about 10,000 years every time, and then Lord Shiva gives benediction, and that's known as easily pleased. I don't think we can't. It's beyond our imagination. That kind of austerity and penance, and that's supposed to be easily pleased. So it's amazing capacity the devotees had, at that time to worship, and they saw that as the easy route. So amazing, yeah. Okay. Jai Prabhu, anything?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I mean, from what I've been told, Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna. Devotees of Krishna are more dear to him than his own devotees. I mean, the main thing I think you said today is like devotion. It's just only through devotional service of Bhakti you can attain the spiritual world, and some of the things you said, like association with pure devotees, engaging the senses in Krishna. Yeah, that's it, really.
That's a very good point. Yeah. that because Shiva is a Vaishnav, so we're not serving him as a demigod. We serve him as a Vaishnav, and he's the devotee of the Lord. So Krishna is happy when we are serving his devotees rather than we serve him directly. And it's very difficult to obtain Krishna directly anyway. We have to go through his devotees, and it's recommended here actually for us that we pray to Lord Krishna. Even Lord Shiva says, pray to Lord Krishna to send you the pure devotee so you can take their guidance. So that's really good. And Parveen Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes. Well, I only picked up the same point, because it's that instruction is coming from the top Vaishnav, Shiva.
Yeah.
So like Mataji said, like I was a devotee of, we didn't know much because I grew up in a small village. So I worship Durga Ma. So now I just pray to Lord Shiva, and if you can share the prayers, Prabhuji, so that can help my devotional service as well. So I understand Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but I need all the help to progress in the devotional service.
Yeah.
So if you can share, Prabhuji, which canto did you read this from? So I can.
You can go to Canto 4.30.
Sorry, say it again. Sorry.
Canto 4.
Yeah.
You probably I got him from Canto 24, Canto 4, Chapter 24 and Chapter 30.
Okay. 24 and 30. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So
Yes.
all the information is there, so you should be able to
Right.
get. Any problems, come
Yeah,
back.
I would like to read it again. Yeah. Thank you.
It's very, very interesting. And Lord Shiva has just included everything. Now, in Bhagavad Gita says that Lord Krishna says that I am the source of everything and everything emanates from me. Well, this is the proof. If somebody wants to know, okay, you just made this statement that Krishna says I'm the source of everything and everything emanates from me. Prove it. Well, here's the proof. It's all there, documented. How, and then Lord Shiva has given us the full history in the whole chart and how that happens. So every detail is there. That was just the statement. This is the detail in this prayer. Lord Shiva, is name of God. So, his prayer is not going to be simple, and his knowledge is not going to be simple. So it's great to have this information firsthand from a devotee of the Lord. So this is so interesting.
Yes.
And
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I say something?
Sure.
Like Prabhupada said in his purport, that the difference between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna is just like milk and yogurt. It's the same,
absolutely.
but different.
That's right. So he's like the saying, he's near of God. He's eternal as well. And so just that difference. I think he has gunas, something like that. 54, is it?
Yeah. It's the same, but different. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, absolutely. So so he's a good authority to follow. So that's good. It says in the prayer that the Lord that you inspire us to act piously and impiously. So somebody wants to make a comment on that. So how does that work then? That he inspires us to act piously and impiously. So anything wrong we do, we are inspired by God to do that. What does that mean?
Is it Prabhu, because Lord has given us the power of free will, so we can act according to our desires. So he lets us do whatever we want to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's part of it. But it says here, it's not saying that we have free will to do pious activity or impious activity. It's saying that he inspires us, he encourages us. That's the issue, that he's encouraging us to do it.
Is it because of our karma? Sorry, I haven't read it.
No, that's okay.
So I'm just saying it from whatever little I'm learning. So is it because based on our karmas? So he
Yes,
he can do pious.
It could be due to karma because we are all in certain modes, so we act according to our modes, don't we?
Well, yeah.
He would try and stop us. You want to do something impious, he will try and give us intelligence not to do it. But it's like a child, a child wants sweets and the parents are saying, no, you shouldn't eat sweets. They're not good for you. They're not good for your health. They're not good for your teeth. But if the child still insists that he wants sweets, then the parent would take him to the shops, and then in the shop, he will be inspiring him to say, oh, which one do you want? You want this one? You want this one? It's like that. That Krishna, he will try to advise us that don't do this, not good for you, not good for your bhakti. But if we still insist that we want to do it, then he says, well, so be it. If that's what you want, Krishna fulfills all our desires, as is mentioned, and then this is what he does in the heart. He fulfills our desires, and if we desire to do impious, then he will, as a parent, he will say, well, I tried to stop you, but if you must have sweets, then I am there. He acts as the energy anyway. He provides us with the energy, as we were talking, I think, last week in the class, that he gives us the energy and the inspiration. So, even the bad people, they can be very clever, they can be very energetic, they can be very intelligent, right? So where is that intelligence coming from? It's coming from Krishna, isn't it? So he's giving us, so he doesn't want us to do bad, but if we don't want to stop doing bad things, then he says, well, so be it. But then we will do it with his inspiration, because he's there to fulfill our desires, but then we have to pay the price as well. And we either go good pious activities mentioned, we go to the upper planets. In pious activities, we stick around here, or we go to hell. So the result is there as well. So the whatever bad comes out of it, then that is for us to experience. That's the thing. So he does give us Dhati Buddhi Yogamtam. He gives us intelligence, but if we don't want to use it, then it's not Krishna's fault. That's just our own endeavor, which way we want to go. So that's that. And also just finally about the sanctioning, I was thinking about the five kartas. The five kartas mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and one of the kartas is the ultimate the sanctioning of the super soul, isn't it? In this, that's verse 18.14 in Bhagavad Gita. There's five kartas. For every action, there's five kartas. There's the place of action, which could be the body, the performer, the senses, the endeavor, and ultimately the super soul is mentioned there. So the five kartas. Finally, you must get the sanction. That's the fifth karta. You must get the sanction of the Lord. Everything we do is through the sanctioning of the Lord. So it's based on that. So, Andy, okay. So we'll do a couple of quick rounds, attentively, of course. That's the idea of doing rounds together. So we concentrate on the rounds, and all the trick is to make sure that you heard the last mantra that you said, that keep eye on it. So did I hear my last mantra? Did I hear my last mantra? And just carry on like that. So we'll do 2 rounds. Rukumani Mataji, do you want to do the first round, and then Sreshi Mataji?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, let's fire away.
I was just saying one thing, that Krishna has said that we all have our own qualities, and every person acts like quality. Every person has each quality.
Yes.
So, and every action has a reaction.
Yes.
So sometimes maybe it is because of the last karma, last birth karma, that also affects us.
Yes.
Is it right?
Absolutely. That's what we're saying, that we are, due to our karmas in the last birth, we are born in a certain, or we're dominated by a certain mode of nature. I mean, we're all dominated by modes of nature, and they are competing to become prominent. But we are all specifically have our own. Some maybe have a dominant ignorance mode. Some may have a dominant passion mode. Some may have a dominant goodness mode. So yeah, and that's according to our past lives. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I'm starting.
Hare Krishna,
first round.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Can I do the first round because I have to go somewhere?
Okay, Mataji, Ruku Mataji. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's okay. It's fine.
Okay, Mataji.
Because I've got appointment about 9:30, so I want to leave home 9:15.
No problem, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, you can start.
Okay.
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Picharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Join you next week. Don't forget Sunday, His Holiness Dirasan Swami is coming, and then next Friday we'll talk about glories of Purushottam month. So looking forward to that. Purushottam month is starting, so I thought it'd be appropriate to do something on Purushottam month. It's a very nice story as well, so we'll do that. Thank you so much, Sureshi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to leave. Thank you.
It's fine, Mataji. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you. Hare Bol.
Okay. Okay. Haribo.
Rukmani Mataji, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivas Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Mataji, I don't know something. I think Mala is short because we still have quite a few. We have about 10-15 more mantras to do. So, I'll carry on. Okay. Hare Krishna.
No, I will carry. It is still remaining.
Yeah, but 15 of them. Yeah.
Because I don't know, my mala has a less. I don't know why.
Yeah,
So another 15.
you should count 108. Just check your mala.
Yes.
Because always
So how many is remaining now?
about 10-15 more. About 11 more.
7 more. Okay. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. That's it.
More. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna. That's it. I think I don't know why so much less in my book.
Every week is a little bit less, so I think mala is short. Check it. Count the beats, please.
Okay, I change. I count and yes.
Okay. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Shri
Gadadhar.
Advaita Shivas Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Thank you for your service, Mataji. Check your beads, so you might need a new mala. I think it's a little bit short. Sometimes they are short. I now seen that. So please check.
Yeah, I will change my mala. I will change.
Thank you.
Count it first.
Thank you all so much.
Okay,
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prem Prakash Prabhu. I don't know who's the India Island Academy, but thank you for joining. So we'll catch up again on Sunday and next Friday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all.
Thank you.